Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. Come on into the webinar. Come on in. Come on in. My name is Linda Peavy, and I am going to be your hostess for this afternoon. And I am so glad that you were able to hop on so that you can get the correct information and the right information about what is going on with grants, and you will want to hear what I have to say today. And you will be happy because yes, there are still billions and billions of dollars worth of grants available that aren't going anywhere. So as you come in, don't be shy. Say hello to me. I'm in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio, where we're having a heat wave. We're having a heat wave. It was like in the 50s yesterday. Yes. When you come in, give your city and your state a shout out. Hello, Timmy. Timmy is with us from Paulsboro. No, is it New Jersey? New Jersey is up in the house. Hello, Kim from Las Vegas, and Latoya from Missouri, and Denise from Jacksonville, bipolar, Florida, right? Because I heard about the snow in Florida. And Cindy from Oakland. Hello, Cheryl. And is it Anthony? Anthony from Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Patty from Washington. Hey, Patty, I'm going to be in your state in a couple of weeks. And Cheryl from the ATL. Oh, and Judy from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah. And look at the ATL showing up. Look at the ATL showing up. Hey, Rebecca from the ATL, and Carol from Tamarack, Florida. And hey, Erica, the CLE is up in the house. The land is up in the house. Hey, Erica from Cleveland. And Annette from Bridgeville, Delaware. Hey, Raja from the Big D, the Motor City, Detroit. And Alicia from the ATL. The ATL is showing out today. They have showed up. And Margie from Winchester, Virginia. And Tamara, Jamaica via Kentucky. I was in Jamaica last year, might be going back again this year. And Celinda from South Carolina, and Tony from Muskegon, Michigan. And we've got Cynthia from Oregon. Yes, I know you guys have had snow too, right? Crazy, crazy. Look, we were having a snowstorm last week, okay? And it was 50 degrees yesterday, all right? Oh my goodness, Patty says dress warm in Washington. It's in the 20s. I will, and I might be sneaking on up to Alaska too when I go there. All right, Jeanette from Santa Clara, Santa Clara, California. Hope you are, hope you are staying safe. Hope you are staying safe. Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Linda Peavy, and I am going to be your hostess for this afternoon. We're going to talk about grants specifically for your woman-owned business or your woman-led nonprofit. And yes, there are grants still available. We will talk about what is going on with grants. I'm going to get started because I have a lot of information to share with you. And I know some of you are on like a time frame. So we'll get it moving. The first thing that you're going to see is my little 30-second TV commercial, which will just give you some background information about me and the work that I do. And then we are off to the races. Yes. Now, we are live. So as I always say, when I start to share this screen, when we are live, it is, oh, come through technology, come through technology. And let me make sure that everything is looking good with there we are with the share screen. Everything is looking good. There we are. All right. It is looking good thus far. It is looking good. We are off to the races.
Hi, I'm Linda Peavy, owner of LaPav Consulting. My passion is to place your organization on the path to excellence. Are you struggling to communicate your message, reach target audiences, or secure funding? From marketing communications to grant writing, we achieve your goals. We've worked with high-profile clients and have secured $17 million in funding for charter schools and nonprofits. Call today to discuss what your success looks like and how LaPav Consulting can help.
So that's some information about me. Let me make sure we are all in the right place. This is my grant writing for women-owned businesses and women-led nonprofits. And this is my live noon session. I have a session tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what I'm going to do is just drop that link in a little bit later, just in case you know someone who might want to join us later on. All right. So my background, let me move that out of the way. Yes, they call me the grants queen because I have secured over $17 million in grants and funding. Now, this is year 17 of me owning my company, LaPav Consulting, and every one of those years, I have been a professional grant writer. I give grant writing workshops all over the country for many different organizations, from the Urban League to, excuse me, the National Association of Women Business Owners, to Goldman Sachs, where I am a proud alumnus of their Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. And I'm also a member of Forbes Black, which is an organization of Black leaders affiliated with Forbes magazine. My undergraduate and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. Now, I own a small business, yes, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I want to know, who is here with me today? So I want you to put into the chat. Are you a nonprofit or a for-profit, or maybe you are both? Because I'm finding that some nonprofits are opening for-profits and for-profits are opening nonprofits. So maybe you're both. So let me know in the chat. Are you a for-profit or a nonprofit? Or I see a lot of both. Excellent, excellent. Some for-profits, some nonprofits. The reason why I ask you this question is that I need for you to know right from the beginning, this is important. There are grants for both entities, and we will talk more about that as we move forward. There are grants for nonprofits, right? There have always been grants for nonprofits, but yes, there are grants for small businesses too. And I know that may seem new, right? Because we're accustomed to thinking about nonprofits when we hear the term grants, but there are grants for both. So you are absolutely positively in the right place. All right. All right. Now, how did I get here? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania. I got hurt. When I got hurt, I had to move back home to Cleveland. Literally came home in a wheelchair. Couldn't even stand. It took me 2 years to recuperate. And at the end of those 2 years, I could not find a job because, as you might imagine, Cleveland, Ohio, right, is not like the publishing mecca of the United States. And I was in professional publishing and couldn't find a job. That's when I started LaPav Consulting. And it has been 17 years. Well, when I started, one of my first contracted jobs was to be an executive director of a nonprofit. And I don't think I was there, but maybe a few weeks before I was told by the board of directors that I had to write a grant that would literally save my job. Now, I had never seen a grant before, and I'm being asked to save my job by writing a grant. But you know what? I did it. I researched, I wrote that grant. It saved my job. It saved the organization. And I knew, one, absolutely you can write grants with zero experience. I did it. But you can also win grants with zero experience. But I also learned some of the most amazing things that you can use grant money for. How about hire help? I know you're tired of wearing all 20 hats, right? With your organization. Yes, yes. Or getting money to just expand or to even open. Some of you have not even opened yet. So we'll talk more about what you can do with grant money as we move forward. All right. Now, what else will we talk about today? Why we're even here. Why is this class more important than ever before? And then I'll give you some grant basics. We will talk about, how do you prepare to apply for grants, right? You need to be grant ready. And then what do you write in that application? How do you write the application that is going to get you noticed in a sea of applications? right? And then I will teach you how to conduct grant research so that you are finding the organizations that want to give you funding. And then do not go anywhere because I have a list of grants for you. I have a bonus surprise, and we're going to do a thorough Q&A. Now, speaking of Q&A, do not be shy. Now is not the time to be shy. This is your opportunity to ask a grants expert questions about grants. So drop your questions into either the chat or the Q&A as we move forward, and I will get to them at the end. Now, let me say to all of you, I am so glad you're here to get the correct information about grants. I'm here to help you. Like, I can't stress that enough. I'm here to help you. Because I'm here to help you, you're going to get a copy of this replay for free. I'm not charging for this replay because I want you to have this information. And you're going to get it tonight, right? And guess what? You're going to have it forever. I don't put some expiration date on the replay. So don't worry. You'll get the replay. It will be free. You'll get it tonight. You'll have it forever. All right? It's time to go. Time to go. All right. Why are we even here? Because we as women leaders need access to funding. Whether we lead nonprofits or whether we're entrepreneurs, we need money. And it shouldn't always be about loans, right? We want grant funding because grant funding is free to us. And let me say this to all of you. You can do this. You can write grants. Grant writing is not what it used to be. You're not sitting in some corner writing some 500-page document for 3 months at a time. I know because that's exactly what I used to do. But what you must know is that there is a process to winning grants. And this is about more than you answering a question and sending off an application, right? After having won over $17 million, probably closer to $18 million now, I know there's a process. And that is what I'm going to teach you today. All right, ready? All right. Now, let me just start off by informing you of what is going on in the grant world. So I'm sure you all heard last week, the current administration wanted to freeze federal grants and loans. And I started to get, oh my gosh, so many emails, people just in a full panic, right? Saying that the current administration froze grants. This is so important for you to know and understand. The current administration was speaking of federal grants and loans, right? Federal grants and loans. I rarely even discuss federal grants and loans because, first of all, federal grants are difficult to get, right? Typically, the applications can be lengthy, but you usually need a partner or have experience utilizing federal grants before. So I rarely even discuss federal grants. The grants that I talk about are unchanged, right? They have little to nothing to do with federal grants, right? They're your foundation grants and your corporate grants. Your foundation grants are coming from your private, community, and family foundations, right? Your corporate foundations are coming from your major corporations. And most of the corporate grants are being provided to small businesses. A lot of your private, community, and family foundations are going to nonprofits, right? So the good news for you is that the amount of money that was available for your foundation and corporation grants that were available 2 weeks ago are still available now, right? Unfazed, untouched by what is happening on the federal level. So, ladies, please be encouraged, right? And you'll see exactly just how much money is available. Is still available. So move forward with you wanting to learn how to research and write and win grants because the money is here. All right. So again, to be crystal clear, the federal grants that were being discussed are your federal government grants, right? Now, yes, they do trickle down to the state and the county and the city government, right? But those are still your government grants. What I'm going to be speaking to you about today and what I usually talk about are your foundation grants and your corporate grants. All right. But what I want you to know is that what happened last week really stressed the importance for you to diversify your funding streams, right? You can never put all of your eggs in one basket. So, yes, you should be seeking grants, but also sponsorships, individual donations, right? And even your corporate contracts. All right. Got it? Everybody clear? In other words, the money is still available. All right. All right. That's what I want you to know. All right. So let me just give you some grand basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back. Now, for the next minute and minute only, I'm just talking to nonprofits. Get your 501c3. That is your tax exempt charitable organization designation by the IRS. Why is this important? Because many foundations are mandated by their boards that they can only give their grant money to nonprofits with their 501c3s, right? The good news is that it used to take the IRS about 6 months to process these applications. Now it's only taking about 8 weeks. So, nonprofits, get your 501c3. All right. From this point forward in this presentation, I'm talking to all of you. Small businesses, which are your for-profits, and your nonprofits, especially with this next slide. Everybody look at this slide. This is U.S. grant annual funding. This is just from your foundations and your corporations, and to a smaller extent, your bequests, but mainly your foundation and your corporations. Look at this number. This was the number from 2023, $189 billion, billion would it be? That's a lot of money, right? And that money that was available 2 weeks ago is available now. Look at this number, but do not be intimidated. I don't want you to look at this number and think, oh, that's just too much money. There's like no way I can get any of it. Because at the end of the day, you just need what you need, right? For your organization. So I want you to look at this number, and I want you all to put into this chat, I just need a little bit. Everybody right now into the chat, because you just need a little bit of $189 billion. You just need what you need, right? You don't need it all, right? Nobody's trying to be greedy, right? That's right, Tamara. Tamara says, I just need a little bit, right? You just need a little bit. That's right, Tawana. That's right, Giovanna. That's right, Timmy. Just look, I'll take a slice of this pie because this is a huge pie that is still available, that's still being served. All right. That's right. Karen, Latoya, that's what I'm talking about, Patty. Do you need it all? Annette, are you going to be greedy and try to get all $189 billion? No, we just need a little bit. So be encouraged. The money is available. It is about you placing your organization in the best possible position to secure it. All right. All right. Now, because they call me the grants queen, I like to give these cups of tea, right? And the first cup is called Grammarly. Now, if you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in this chat right now. What is it? It is a free software editing tool. Why is this important? Because I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. No, 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 no. So right now, who is using Grammarly? I want to know who is using Grammarly right now. Give yourself some love in this chat. It's free. You download it onto your, Risha says she uses Grammarly. Timmy uses Grammarly. You download it. Alicia uses it. You use it for Word, for Excel, for your emails, right? And courtesy of Grammarly, download this article. Improve writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things. Oh, Patty, you must download it. She says she didn't even know it existed. Again, I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. Erica, you're using Grammarly. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Hello, Erica. It's my buddy. All right. Now, what are we doing here? We have to prepare to apply for grants. What do you need to do? Your EIN, your employer identification number. Nonprofits and nonprofits only, you need your 501c3. Now, you may need your state certification or your business license, right, to conduct business in your state. Just check with your Secretary of State, find out whether or not you need a business license, right, to conduct business. Now, especially you nonprofits, you need your board of directors. You know, it's mandated that you have one. And no, it cannot consist of just family and friends, but, that's another webinar. All right. Now, if you are a for-profit and you have a board, get your list together. Get letters of support. Where are they coming from? It could be your pastor, your church, community leaders, your vendors, right? Politicians, people who know of your work in the community, have them write you a letter so that you can submit that letter with that grant application because you never know who knows who, right? Now, all of you need a current operating budget. This is especially true for startups because at the end of the day, you must know approximately how much money it's going to take for you to operate over the course of a year. And when you create that budget, you're using estimates, and that's okay. Estimate what you think your expenses will be. But what it will do is give you a better idea of how much grant money you need because too many people think, oh my gosh, like I need $1 million in grants. But once they actually complete their draft operating budget with estimates of how much money it's going to take to operate, they realize, oh, I don't need $1 million. I may only need like $10,000. All right. Now, if you are currently operating, you need your financial documents, which is your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. Profit and loss is another term for income statement. So this is how you prepare to apply for grants. You should have these documents ready. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is go through your typical components that you will find in a grant application and give you best practices for every single section. All right. Now, the first section that you're going to see is called the summary abstract. What do? You always write it last. Be careful. Don't be fooled. You see it first. You always write it last because you're going to complete your application and then go back and start pulling out the most compelling components and dump those components into the summary abstract because this is the first impression that the foundation will have for your organization. So it's got to be tight. All right. All right. Now, this is critical mission statement. And I'm often asked, Linda, I'm a small business. Do I really need a mission statement? Absolutely, you do. Because your mission statement is going to lead you to the organization that wants to give you funding. Why? Because you're going to align your mission to the mission of that organization. So if you're like laser focused on K through 12 education, make sure you're seeking funding from a foundation that also has a passion for education. And no, you don't change your mission statement based on what foundation you're seeking money from. Your mission doesn't change. It defines who you are and what you do, your aims and your goals. You should be seeking money from foundations that align to your mission statement. Got it? So if you don't have a mission statement, that's homework 101 for you. All right. Now, the history section, don't ever leave that blank, even if you are a startup, because then you're going to be talking about what was the impetus for you starting your organization? Why did you start? And all of those experiences or activities that led to its opening become a part of its history. All right. Leadership, that's easy. Your CEO, your executive director, but you always include your board of directors because they are very much a part of your leadership team. All right. Now, this next section, this is where you are going to separate yourself from the pack. It is how you describe your organization. And I want you to think about one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? And I want you to use real numbers. Let's say you have a homeless ministry. How many homeless people have you placed in shelters? Let's say you have an online coaching service. Maybe you have an LLC and career development. How many people have you coached to their future careers? Let's say you haven't even opened. Let's say you want to open a tutoring academy for middle school kids. You still use numbers based on what you want your impact to be. So you can say, once they complete my tutoring academy, I want them to have increased their reading proficiency scores by 8%, right? So whether you're open or opening, think about impact or the impact that you want, and always use real numbers. Got that? That's very important. This will help you set your application apart. All right. Now, this is where many of you need to rethink how you see your organization because you must write this application as if you are addressing an issue or solving a problem. And it doesn't matter if you are a nonprofit or for profit or whatever industry you're in. This is how you write this application. Now, let's take an example. Let's take a bakery. A bakery. Bakery wants a $20,000 grant to like maybe relocate to a downtown community. You might be thinking, like, what issue is she solving, right? She's making cakes all day, cupcakes, cookies. Well, maybe she decided to open up a vegan bakery because vegans don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods. So she's resolving that issue. Or maybe it's all about economic development because she wants to relocate in a community that's been economically deprived, right? So that's the issue that she's addressing. Because whatever that issue is going to lead you to the foundation that wants to give you money because guess what? They're giving their grant money to address the same issue. That's why you have to know how and what and when and where foundations give. And how do you find that out? Well, you go to their websites. The problem is that 90% of foundations don't even have a website. That's where you have to get creative in getting information about them. All right? All right. Now, this is where some of you get into trouble. I've been a business coach for 16 years now. I serve as a coach for EIDC, which is part of the Women's Business Centers, which is funded by the Small Business Administration. And when I ask, who do you serve? Who is your target population? Too often I get, oh, I help everybody. Linda, I have to help everybody. I have a heart for helping. If they come my way, I just have to help them. No, no, ma'am, no. You cannot help everybody. This is how you get burnt out. You should have one, maybe two target populations. One, maybe two, that's it. And then you have to niche down even from there. Because if you tell me you help the homeless, I'm going to ask you the homeless who? Homeless veterans, homeless moms, homeless children. You help veterans. What kind of veterans? Veterans with PTSD, veterans that need transitional housing. One, maybe two. So if you want to drop yours into the chat, if we get a chance, we'll talk about it at the end. One, maybe two, because keep in mind, foundations give according to target population. So you have to be able to define yours. All right. So yes, you will all get a copy of the replay tonight. You'll have it for free. You'll have it forever for those of you who are asking. But get excited about writing this grant. There should be like no trepidation here because this is your opportunity to tell your story. A grant application is an opportunity for you to tell your story, right? Talk about what lives you've changed, what outcomes you've achieved. And there's no better way of showcasing this impact than using video. If you have clients, have them pick up their cell phone and give you a 30-second testimonial and put it on the homepage of your website. Because yes, foundations go to your website to get a feel for your footprint. And even if you haven't opened, still use video to maybe showcase what issue it is that you're addressing. Maybe you're opening up a new restaurant in an area that they don't have any burger restaurants, right? And you have a burger restaurant. Use video. All right. But be excited. Be excited because this is your opportunity to tell your story. All right. Now, all of you have a decision to make, though. Are you asking for operating grant money or program project grant money? Now, we love to get operating grants, right? Because when you get an operating grant, you decide where to put that money. And operating grants are typically used to shore up your infrastructure, to pay for your administrative cost or your expenses, right? So you can use it, pay for salaries or contractors, your lease or marketing, IT, your website. Only about 32% of foundations give this general operating support grant. Most grants have to go to a particular service or program or project of your organization. All right. Now, you must apply to multiple foundations when you are seeking grants. Why do you think that is? Let me know in the chat. Why do you think it is important to apply to multiple foundations? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Keep in mind, people, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint, right? So let me know in the chat, in the chat, in the chat. Increase your chances of obtaining funding. Kim, yes. Accumulate the funding you need? Yes. Accumulate additional funding, more funding. Denise, yes. Cheryl, you want to increase your chance of getting approved? Absolutely. People often ask me all the time, can I get more than one fund? Can I get more than one grant? You better get more than one grant. Absolutely. But here's the main reason. Grants are not guaranteed. Don't let anybody tell you they can guarantee you grant money, right? If somebody is like whispering to you, like, oh, I can guarantee you this grant money, I can make sure you get part of this grant money, I want you to do one of those military turns and run in the other direction because you are about to be scammed. No, no such thing as guaranteed grant money. So you have to apply to multiple foundations. And yes, absolutely, you should be getting multiple grants, multiple grants. All right. All right. Now, I cannot possibly overstate the importance of each and every one of you having community partners. This question will be on the grant application and you need to answer it. It will strengthen your application because foundations do not expect you to work alone. You can't do it. It doesn't work. I'm 17 years in of owning my business full time. It doesn't work. You need partners, right? And I want you to connect with well-respected organizations in your community. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Let's say you have an accounting firm. You go to your library and give a tax talk. It's tax season. Give a 1 hour tax talk every month. You will have a willing audience. And let me tell you, I think libraries are criminally underutilized. You know they're going to promote you. That's what they do, which will do what? Increase your level of visibility, which is key when you are seeking grants. You want area organizations and foundations to know what you do and who you are and the work that you do, right? And when you increase your level of visibility, you will increase your chances of connecting with other foundations or other organizations for partnerships. The more you speak, the more you talk. It could be universities or Greek organizations or the Y or other businesses, right? I want to give you one more example. That was a for-profit. Let me give you an example of a nonprofit. Let's say young lady, she has a reentry program, right? Reentry program. She's helping ex-offenders, right, to be reacclimated to society. Everybody wants the recidivism rate to be low, right? The recidivism rate is the rate at which prisoners go back to jail. So you want that rate to be low. Into the chat. What are the organizations that you think that young lady should be partnering with? Because you know she has to get to the prisoners before they are released to make sure that they, for example, qualify for the program. So she has to work with them while they're in the criminal justice system. And she has a reentry program. Recidivism rate, right? We want it to be low. She wants to be able to make sure that they are reacclimated, become productive members of society, and not go back to jail. Into the chat. What do you think? Exactly. Exactly. Who? Denise, the Department of Corrections, the Sheriff's Office, right? Annette, the probation office, right? Anthony, yes, parole officers, right? Judges associations. What about churches or organizations that have programs? Exactly. Local churches, Patty, right? What about Dress for Success, where they can get clothes, or maybe a social service agency where they can maybe learn a skill, right? You see, this is not difficult. This is not difficult. You see how easily we came up with what, five or six? This is what I want you all to do. This is your homework. I want you to name 5 organizations that you are going to contact and partner with in your community. 5. That's homework for you all. 5. Yes, Cheryl, state bar associations, right? Easy peasy. This is what I want you all to do. Name 5. All right? 5. All right. Now, you're asking for grant money. You have to be able to state how you're going to use it to achieve goals, right? So you have to list your goals, and they can't be regular goals. They have to be SMART goals. What are they? specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Now, let's say I have a literacy program because I want to help kids read. My goal is to reduce the poverty rate in Cleveland for children. But if I write down my goal as I want to reduce the poverty rate in Cleveland, that's not a SMART goal. And you have to write a SMART goal in your grant application. A SMART goal would say, I want to reduce the poverty rate by 5% in Cleveland for Hispanic children under the age of 5 within a 5-year time frame. Everybody into the chat. What did I do there? How did I change that goal into a SMART goal? What did I do? What did I do? How did I change the goal into a SMART goal? Everybody into the chat, what did I do? I was more specific. Timmy, what else did I do? I added milestones. Sure, what else did I do? There we go. Catherine, I added measurables. That's it. Added measurables. 5%. Cleveland, Hispanic children, under the age of 5, 5-year time frame. Anytime you want to change a goal into a SMART goal, you add data and stats. Now we're on to the money. This is how you're going to expend the grant money. You need to create a budget. But keep in mind, you have to itemize these expenses on this budget. So let's say you want a $50,000 grant to bring in an executive director. You can't just write any 50 grand for an ED. No, you have to be specific. Is it a contracted executive director? If so, how many hours are they working? What is the pay rate? How many weeks out of the year? You need supplies? What are they? What do you need them for? How many do you need? Be specific. The explanation of how you're using the grant money goes into the budget narrative. The numbers go into the budget, typically an Excel file. Got that? All right. Budget, very important. Now, this is the slide here. Like, if you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is it. So if you need to take a screenshot, do whatever you need to do now, you will all get the replay, but this is the slide. This is as or more important than anything you will ever write in the grant application. You need to meet with the foundation first. Meet with the foundation providing the grant first. You need to build a relationship. And you want to meet with them because you're attempting to receive their grant money and they want to meet with you. They're considering giving you their grant money, right? You need to build this relationship because oftentimes in that meeting, they will share information with you about the grant that's not on their website. And these are typically 30-minute Zoom meetings, right? Because so many of these grants are nationwide. I always think about the one grant I set up, and I've set up probably 1,000 of these meetings. One in particular, 30-minute Zoom meeting, my client got $30,000 because those missions aligned, right? This is important. This is critical. And guess what? It doesn't have to be in person. Now, if you are in close proximity to the foundation, meet with them in person. If not, this is a 30-minute Zoom meeting. All right. Now, I know what some of you are saying, like, Linda, this sounds good, but I don't have time for this. I do not have time to write these grants. I don't have time. Remember what I said at the beginning, that so many of these grants are 2 and 3 pages. Foundations don't have the staff to sort through 200-page documents any longer. 2 to 3 pages, some of them, right? I was not joking when I said that. So, especially for those of you that are thinking, I don't have time, I don't have time. I have a question for all of you, and I would like an answer in the chat. Do you have time to get free money? Do you have time to get this free money? I don't know if anybody has time to get free money. Let me see in the chat if anybody has time to get free money. I'm saying absolutely. I'm saying sure do. I'm saying yes, yes. I'm saying say less. I'm saying yes. I'm saying I have all day. I have all the time in the world. I'm saying yepers. I'm saying yes. So it looks like you have time to get free money. So if you have time to get free money, I need for you to spend just a little time on the process to get the free money. All right? This is what you're going to do. You're going to send a letter, an email to that foundation, introducing yourself and requesting a meeting. In that letter, you describe your organization, you discuss who you help and how you help them. You align your mission or your project or service to what that organization is funding, and you are never asking for money in this email. You're asking for a meeting, and in the meeting, you're asking for money. Got it? Now, it's time to find the money. This is the grant research. This is more important than ever before, people, because you need to find these resources that are providing grant funding now more than ever before. Because, yes, we can expect some cuts, right, to the federal grants. So, those of you that are seeking federal grant money, right? But again, that's rare. I never recommend that for anyone that are new to this grant game, right? But the other sources, it's going to be so important that you know how to find where they are. The Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information on grants in the United States. Now, they give information about the foundations and the organizations providing grants, not the grant opening. So if you're in Cleveland and you have a program where you're helping veterans to move into transitional housing, you can put that information to FDO, you push a button, it will give you probably a large list of grants, funders that would possibly provide grants to your organization. Now, the FDO is $50 a month if you want to subscribe, $50 a month, or guess what? Free access at your local library. All right. Grants.gov, if you're going after those federal grants, this is the site. And please understand that there will still be even federal grants available, right? They may be cut, but there will be grants available. Lilly Foundation, even if you are a church or a faith-based organization, yes, there are grants for you. Lilly Foundation is the largest funder. Grant Watch, Grant Station, I love them both because they actually provide the grant opening, right? And oftentimes the deadline, right? The synopsis of the grant, who's funding it, contact information, especially at Grant Watch, and they're only $20 a week. And yes, you can in your subscription after you've only spent $20. They're also $200 for the whole year. Grant Station, $200 for the whole year. And then urbanawarenessusa.org, they're Black owned. They probably have information on 4 to 5 new grants every week, and they're free. Sign up for their free newsletter. All right. Google is great, people. Google is great, but I need for you to be in these portals that are set up specifically to tell you where you can get grant funding. All right. This is important. Now, let me show you really quick how you conduct this grant research. This is Grant Watch, $20 a week. Look in the middle. You check nonprofit, business, or individuals. Usually that's for your maybe research, PhD candidates, but for you, nonprofit or business. And then look to my left where it says apply filters. You start completing those categories. Who is your target population? What is your organization? What is your industry? Is it arts and culture, education, business and industry? You put in all of this information and press a button, you get a list of grants. Now, let me say something about location, right? Because I want to say to all of you, I believe most of you are leaving money on the table. And this is something that's going to be absolutely key. Start local. Start local first. Do you know it's easier to get local grant money? So start local with your local community organizations. You can literally Google local community foundation and meet with your local community foundation, right? I'm in the Cleveland area. This is a huge philanthropic community, right? We have the oldest community foundation in the country here with the Cleveland Foundation and many others. It is, I'm going to say it again, It is easier to get local grant money, but don't disregard the national grant makers. There are more of them because they're nationwide. Just because a foundation is located in Texas doesn't mean they're not giving money to you and you're in Connecticut. And then to my international friends, this is for you as well. These grants are not just for organizations that live here in the US. Doesn't matter if you're in Canada or Belize, you can search and find and win grant money. Keep in mind, many of these organizations are global in scope, right? Especially the corporations. All right. So this is Grant Watch. You push a button, get you a list of grants. Now, I have just a partial list of grant opportunities here for you. If you are a small business, make sure you are signed up to Hello Alice because they constantly drop grants, especially for small businesses. If you have a brick and mortar, make sure you sign up for the Main Street grant. That grant opens up every single year, and that's for those with a physical location. You have a beauty product, that L'Oreal grant opens up every year. Last year was with the NAACP. But if you have any type of beauty product, get on the mailing list of these organizations so that when the grants open, you know about them, right? Amber Grants for Women, they give away $30,000 every single month. I won't go through all of these. 37angels.com. If you need a significant amount of money and want an angel investor, go to them, right? Do you have a startup? Busy and Sky's the Limit. They both have startup grants. You may be saying, Linda, I'm super small. I'm a solopreneur. Like I can't get grant money. And that's not true. Yes, solopreneurs get grant money. Look at Amarillo. All they do is focus on providing grants to super small organizations. Or you might be saying, Linda, I don't even have an organizational chart. Like I don't have paid staff. I don't even pay myself. That's okay because you don't necessarily need a paid staff. What you need is impact. And yes, all volunteer nonprofits get grants too. Then Google local community foundation, meet with them, and network. Join organizations, right? So that you do what? You increase your level of visibility. Now, really quickly, all of you, into the chat. Let me know the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money. Banks and money. What is like the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks and money? Banks and money. What is the first thing? Let's see what we got here. Loans. Yes, loans, interest, credit. Did you know that debt? Did you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? This is what I'm wanting you to understand. There is so much grant money beyond your federal grants, right? It's not your branch manager. It's not your loan officer. Usually it's a VP, and I'm dropping those titles into the chat. VP of Economic Development, VP of Community Reinvestment, VP of Community Development. I'm going to give you 4 hot leads right now. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, TD Banks, and Truist. All of them, with the exception of TD Banks, provide grants for your for-profit small businesses and your nonprofits. All right. Now, I want to say a quick word about artificial intelligence because people, it's not coming, it's here. For those of you who are using ChatGPT, it is a phenomenal resource, but be careful. There's no magic button. There's no magic button to push to poof, give you the perfect grant application. That's not even how AI works. If you know anything about AI, you know you have to feed it, right? You have to feed it information about you and your organization. That's why you must understand, you must know how to write that basic grant application. How do you write about your mission and your need statement, and your project and your service? And then you dump that information to AI so that it can rewrite it or improve it or retool it. Or it can write better and faster, right? But it first must have the information that you are feeding it in the form of prompts. All right. So it can be phenomenal. Just know how to use it. All right. So I'm getting to my bonus surprise right now because you need to know this information. I have created a grant writing course. This is how I won the $17 million in grants. And I created a course so that you could do the same because you need help, right? And now more so than ever before, because it is now It is now that you need to know how and where to get the grant funding that is still available. And the course includes my coaching, and that will become very important. Now, the course will teach you how to write every part of a grant narrative, from the mission to the need statement to the impact statement to the budget. And then I teach you how to conduct grant research techniques so that you are finding the organizations that literally want to give you funding based on what you do and who you serve. But the coaching comes in this instance. Let's say you set up that meeting with the foundation and you're not sure what to do, what to say, what to bring. I will tell you, what do you say, right? What do you bring to the meeting? What do you listen for? What are the keywords, the buzzwords? The course will teach you how to write your budget. The coaching comes in where you come to our private Facebook group and you ask me questions. So you ask me, Linda, I have to write my budget. I don't know how much money to ask for. I don't know if I should be asking for money for my infrastructure, right? Or my admin fees, or for my project or my service. And that's where the coaching comes in, right? You get 12 modules, 35 lessons. There's a video in front of every lesson. And this is where this course is different than other grant writing courses. Again, this is year 17 for me, being a professional grant writer. I've been hired to build and create grant applications, including the questions. So I know a lot about what those questions are. I've used those questions to build this course. So in my course, you are literally asking, or you are answering the questions that you find on a typical grant application. Only you do it with support and you do it with help in the course. So by the time you're done with answering my grant questions, you have this beautiful customized grant template just for you that you're now using to apply for grants. But you've done it. It's easier and it's faster because you're doing it here so that you have that template and you can start applying for grants. And yes, you do get real examples, and every grant example I wrote and every grant example that's in the course won money. And I do something really no one else is doing in the country. With this course, you get a list of 600 organizations that provide grants. So when I say you're ready to go, like, you're ready to go. And then I mentioned the private Facebook group, which I have to say is phenomenal, right? Because it is really about collaboration and it's not about competition. The students are incredible. And guess what? They drop more grants than I do. And I drop a lot of grants in the Facebook group. So if you want to know where there are grants, they're in the Facebook group. And it's about total support. You come in, you ask any questions that you need to get the help that you need. And because I'm here, I said from the beginning, I was here to help you. You do get an hour of group coaching live, but that's every month with me. All right. Every month with me, 1 hour of group coaching. And the last one was last week. Oh my gosh, it was like a 2.5 hour marathon session because I really do stay until every question has been answered. Now, this is not what you're paying for the course, but this is what the course is worth. So it's important because I've had my course here audited 3 times. So 12 modules, 35 lessons, $3,549 is what it's worth. Bonus videos, $600. The funding list worth more than $500, not because we keep adding to it. And you have to have planners and grant trackers worth $350, right? So this is a slide that you want to see because my course is worth $5,000, right? And the university grant writing courses are about $5,000, but you certainly don't get access to the professor afterwards and barely information afterwards about the resources. My regular price is $997. That's like the regular price. I try to keep it on sale for $497. I really do, to make it affordable because I just want to make it affordable. But you hopped on the webinar, letting me know that you are serious about getting the help that you need. So for the next 3 days only, you get to take $200 even off of the $497 price. Yes, this is one and done. Most people don't even believe it, but it's true because this is how I serve my community. Now, I have services that are probably exponentially higher that people hire me for, but this course, I keep it super low because I know that it can help you. And more so than ever before, you're going to need this community. You're going to need to know where to go and how to get these grants, right? But you have to use a code, which is the FEB04, and that will take off the $200 from the $497. If you need extra help to pay, right, you can receive a 2-month payment plan. That's $175 a month. And just put a T for two, just put a T for the 2-month plan on the end of the code. And you read right at the end, the course never expires. Like how often do you see that? Really? Where, yes, the course never expires. You have lifetime access. This is everything you get. I didn't talk about the letter of inquiry because that is a letter that a lot of foundations are using now because it's sort of like a gatekeeper. Usually 2 or 3 pages that they want you to complete to determine if they want to ask you to complete the full application. That's why I have an entire lesson on it. Every part of the grant application, everything is self-paced. Go at your own pace because I want you to develop this beautiful template with our help so that you are ready to apply for grants. $297 for the entire course. Use that code though, FEB04. And then if you want a 2-month payment plan, you can. You've got 3 days until Friday. If you want to buy the course, this is what you do. You want to make the one payment of $297. That's discounted off of $497, remember? So hit the $497, and there you go. Have a coupon, input your coupon code, FEB04. It will take off $200. Now you see this block here. This is important because that is a private VIP session with me, one-on-one. We do a deep dive into your organization. Let me tell you, I get you together in that 1 hour because before you and I are going to talk about grants, we're going to talk about your mission and your vision and your infrastructure and your target population and then your services. And then we're going to talk about local and national grants. It's $495 for the 1 hour because you get the session notes and you get the video. Yes, you get the video too. The only time you'll see it discounted to $195 is if you buy it with the course. So you just add it to the $297. All right. Now, this is how you pay for the course. And just so you know, we're running the opportunity for those of you who want to pay just the one time. This is only for those that want to pay the one time. Yes, we have buy now, pay later, which is really remarkable when you think about it. Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna, they're offering 4 months, same as cash. So you spread the $297 out, or you can add the $195 and you spread that amount out. I think it's like $442. You might get a grant before you even pay for the course. No interest, right? Now, if you want to take advantage of those 4 months, same as cash, go through the process, put in your discount code, right? $297, add the $195 if you want, and then hit, this is important, in the payment section, hit pay another way because you don't want to use the credit card, right? Pay another way. And then look for other payment options until you see this block here. And then you'll see Affirm and Klarna. There may be a little drop-down arrow that'll get you to Afterpay. We have other methods too. You can use a credit card or a bank withdrawal payment or Cash App or Google. And then you might just want to pay us 2 times. That's fine, right? You hit the 2 times $275. That is the payment plan. But remember, you have a coupon. So input your coupon, FEB04T. It will take $100 off of every payment. There's only 2. $175 now, and then $175 30 days from now. And yes, you can add on the $195. And I do not drip my course. So even if you pay the 2-month payment or the 1 payment, you get everything right away. Even if you take the 4 months, same as cash, you get everything immediately. I want everybody to look at this slide because this is critical. This is Whitney. Whitney never thought she would get any grants. Whitney is a student. She did exactly what I'm asking you to do. She started local. She has a doula organization. She got a $40,000 grant from the Southern Power Fund. And if any of you are in cities with major utility companies, often they have foundations. Then she went national. She got $50,000 from the National Birth Equity Collaborative. She thought she was done. No. She ended up with $200,000 in 1 year. Think about that investment and what she paid and what she got. And she's saying I can be a salaried employee of my business. Isn't that what we all want, right? Kanisha, not even 3 weeks ago, she's a student taking the course, implementing the course, $100,000 grant. She says, God is awesome. Not even 3 weeks ago, right? And for those of you who are LLCs, Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage in Charlotte, $20,000 grant for a massage company. She said, I'm so thankful and grateful for your course. It's been life-changing for our business. Life-changing. Alicia around Thanksgiving got $40,000. Christina, may I share that I'm so grateful for Linda? I would not have had the confidence to follow through on applying for grants. She said, I won my very first grant to grow my business. Many people ask me if I've never received a grant before, is it possible? Absolutely. She got $10,000. Guess who won the LegalZoom grant? Emily, $10,000. And Quanisha got that elusive Walmart grant, right? She bought the one-on-one. And I always laugh when I see this. She's like, that one-on-one session we had is getting my organization funded. And I want you all to know about a special webinar I'm having tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Melissa, if you could just drop the link in the chat. I'm doing a grant walkthrough. If you want to know more about what to expect from grants in 2025, and you want to see me do a live grant walkthrough for a grant that I wrote and won money, you'll see exactly why it worked, right? So that you can emulate it free. This is a free webinar tomorrow. Sign up for it, 7 o'clock. All right. It's time for Q&A. When we get to the Q&A, ask me the difference between a grant and a sponsorship. You'll want to know. All right, all right. It's time for Q&A. But before we do the Q&A, there's something I want you all to do. Not for me, but for yourselves, because it's go time. It's February 4th. You know, there's more money at the beginning of the year than in any other, right? Because some foundations give on a first come, first serve basis, right? So like now is the time. Like people know I'm a huge football fan, so I'm super excited about Sunday. But it's time to get off the sidelines, right? It's time to get off the sidelines. So many of you thought when the administration froze the grants, that was it. No, nothing could be further from the truth. This is why it's so important to be in a community where you get factual information, right? But I believe in manifestation. So I want all of you, before you leave here right now, I want you to put into this chat, I am ready to get grant money. Like, get this out of your system. I am ready to get grant money. I am ready to get grant money, right? Like, get this out. Just get it into the universe. All of you, I want to see all of you to put this into the chat. That's what I'm talking about. Is it Jackie Aya? I'm sorry, I know I probably truly butchered that name. Cheryl, Raja, Alicia, Kim, Timmy, Patty, Georgette, get this out. I want you to write this down. It's go time. It's go time, right? It's February. More money now than throughout the rest of the year. Yes, Janetta, Tony, Anthony, don't do this for me. Do this for you. Some of you have been waiting a long time, right? Annette, Barbara, Everesta, Karen, right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm ready to get grant money. All right. Be ready to get grant money. You got to get into this game. You can't get grants unless you write grants, but be so in a community of support, right? Come into a community of support. All right. It is Q&A time. I'm going to start with the box. All right. All right. All right. When setting up a nonprofit and a for-profit, EIN's number, is it okay for us to select faith-based and all the selections, or is that not okay and we just should decide on a few and create different EINs? You're going to have to explain that further. I'm not sure what you're asking. However, if your nonprofit is a faith-based organization, that's perfectly okay, right? So all of you need to know, this is actually important. Even if you have a church, you still need a 501c3. Why? Because many nonprofits will only give to entities with 501c3. So it's perfectly okay for you to select a faith-based organization if that's what you are, right? But just know that means most of your programming or your services need to be faith-based. You can have multiple organizations. You can have a nonprofit with one EIN and a for-profit with another EIN because maybe they do different things, and that's perfectly okay. All right. The difference between a grant and a scholarship. This is key. When you get a grant, the organization that provides you with the grant money really cannot expect anything of value from you because they give you the grant money, right? Now they can expect you to create a grantee report to tell them how you spent their grant money, but they can't like force you to buy something from them because they're giving you grant money. A sponsorship is different because when you get a sponsorship from an organization, they're expecting something from you. Maybe they want to put their tchotchkes in your swag bag, or maybe they want to talk to your audience, or maybe they want to put a program ad in your program book, right? Or maybe they want to talk to your audience, right? I was just having this conversation a couple of weeks ago. A young lady she has a marketing firm where she was helping attorneys to market their law firms. And those are typically higher income individuals, right? So I'm thinking like, go to the dealerships in your city, like a luxury dealership, a Lexus or Cadillac or who name it, right? And work on an arrangement with them. Maybe they'll give you $30,000 for the opportunity to place their car at your conference or your convention, right? It happens all the time. You should be seeking both grants and sponsorships. Sponsorships, not scholarships, sponsorships and grants. Now, let me say to you, if you go to a bank, ask for both. You can ask for grants and sponsorships. Credit unions typically only give sponsorships. All right. All right. Yeah. So the course is tax deductible. You write it off. Absolutely. Write it off. If you are a nonprofit, you're not paying taxes. So it's listed as an expense. But if you are a small business, you completely write off the $297 or whatever the payment is. If you add on the coaching, you write it off too, because this is all considered an educational and business expense. So yes, you get to write it off. Absolutely. All right. Okay. Let me just get to the other questions. All right. All right. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to try to do this live because someone's asking how you get to the buy now, pay later. I'm going to literally log out. I'm going to share my screen because I want to do this live really quickly so that you can see and it will be easier for you. So if you want to make the one payment, okay, I think you can see my screen now. Hit $4.97, right? I'm doing this live. You have a coupon, FEB04. Hit apply. You see, I took out the $200. You're only paying $297. You want to buy the one-on-one coaching session with me? Hit add to order. Now it's $4.92. If not, you don't have to. Now, input an email address, right? You're creating your account. And then you are moving down and you are hitting, excuse me, where it says payment method. It might come up automatically. Affirm, Cash App, Google Pay. Hit the drop-down menu. There's your Afterpay. Now, let me put in another. I want one where, let's see, let me put that in and see what happens. Because I want to get to the block where sometimes you have to go through a couple of steps. Let me see, let me see, let me see. All right, there we go. It came up anyway, right? So if you don't see the initial block, just hit the line that says pay another way and then hit another pay alternative ways and it will come up with this block. So you might not see them all. You might have to hit that little drop down menu. There's your Afterpay. If you want to make the 2-month payment plan, hit 2 times 275, right? And then remember, put in your coupon FEB04T, and it will take off $100 every month. So you're only paying 175 now and 175 30 days from now, but you get everything now, and then you can add it. All right. So hopefully that cleared it up. All right. Other questions. Someone said that I wrote grants all last year and did not secure any funding. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Either it is the grant application itself or who you are, excuse me, seeking grants from. Is it matched? Is it matched? Are you aligned to that organization? Because and I'm not saying this is what happened with you. Something happened. If you buy the course and you come into the Facebook group and you say, Linda, I wrote grants all last year. I got no grants, right? I'm going to ask you for some information so I can answer a couple of questions for you. I would advise you to buy the one-on-one, because if you buy the one-on-one, it's you and me. I'm going to find out why you didn't get any grants, right? I will find out why you did not get any grants. I can assure you of that by the time we're done in the hour. Keep in mind, this is year 17. I've probably seen thousands of grant applications, and I've written so many, I can't even remember how many, right? And after having won $17 million, I know what a winning grant application looks like because I write them and I review them for other organizations, right? Something is wrong. So either it is the grant application or it's who you're choosing, because people oftentimes get so seduced by these large dollar grants, right? And it's not even meant for them. It's not even for their organization, but they heard somewhere that there was a $50,000 grant or a $250,000 grant or $1 million grant. And they're like, oh, we need to go after this money. But maybe the audience was not for who you serve, right? So there are many factors, right, as to why you were denied. Oh, here's another tip. When you get rejected, if you get rejected, always ask why. Always ask why, because it will help you with the next application. That has happened to me in the past where I was rejected. I asked why. I met with the foundation to find out why they rejected me. Oh, absolutely, you do that. Oh, absolutely, you do. And they told me exactly why they rejected the application. And guess what? I used exactly what they told me the next time and got the grant, right? Because we are about getting grant money for the organizations that buy this course. So if you are serious about getting grant money, right, we will help you along the way. All right. All right. Let me just get to the other questions. Yes, it's all self-paced. Go at your own pace. Yes, go at your own pace. Yes, so that is a main difference between the federal grants and the other grants. So this is what I really wanted all of you to understand, is that there's so much money, so much grant money still available. Excellent question. Are there templates that you can recommend for creating your operating budget, balance sheet, and profit and loss statement? I'm not sure if you're a student, Timmy. I think you are. If so, there are templates in the Facebook group. So when you come, for all of you, I have templates, right? Remember I told you to create that email letter to send to the foundation to set up a meeting? I have a template. I have a template that you can use when you want to create a partnership, right? So if you want a template, so first of all, there's a budget template in the course. But if you want a budget template for your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement, we will get those to you. Also, you can go to SCORE. SCORE also has templates. SCORE is an organization funded by the Small Business Administration, and they exist to help small businesses become successful completely free. They will give you a mentor, all right, if you need help starting up. So I'm going to put their email address into the chat. They have templates as well. They have all financial templates, balance sheet, income statement. All right. So you can go there. Or again, if you are a student, come into the Facebook group, right? And we can get you templates as well. All right, let me just make sure. Okay, I'm going slowly. I see quite a few questions. Everyone will get a copy of the replay tonight. Creative, I'm not sure what you mean. Rephrase your question because I'm not sure what I was talking about when I said creative. Inner city young children, what does that mean? How do you help them? Inner city young children, those are millions of children, right? What about inner city young children? What is it that you're trying to help them with? Are you trying to help them read better? Are you trying to help them with math? Are you trying to help them be safe? So therefore, you are making sure that where they live, there's no lead, right? It could be a million things. Melanated women who are survivors of sexual assault, very specific, very specific, very, very good, very specific. And for many of you, I could look at what you do and name like 3 or 4 different categories, right? So let's take this person here. Melanated women who are survivors of sexual assault, right? You're a woman-owned business, so look for grants that are geared towards women-owned businesses, right? I'm assuming you're a person of color, so there are grants geared towards women of color still, absolutely. That's number 2. Your target population, women. So now you can seek grants that are geared towards organizations that help women, right? That's 3. Sexual assault, right? That deals with the criminal justice system, right? Or abuse, right? So that's number 4. Victims of abuse. There's so look for grants from organizations that are geared towards those who help women who've been abused, right? 4 categories right there. And this is for all of you. You should all be looking in multiple categories for grants, right? This is why when we heard what happened last week, I'm thinking, no, that's not even possible that one person can say they're stopping all grants. That's what people were thinking. That's never what the administration said. They specifically said federal grants and loans, but people assume that meant all grants. Now you understand, right? Grants come from thousands of resources, some private, some public, right? So the grants are available. So for all of you though, multiple areas where you should be seeking grants. And let me give you even more help. Always look to 3 different areas, 3 different areas where you should be seeking grants. 3 different areas. 1, your mission statement. Align your mission to the mission of the foundation or the organization. 2 is your ethnicity or gender. Look for grants that are geared towards you as a woman-owned business. For example, Amber Grants for Women, or you're a woman-led nonprofit. Or maybe you're a person of color. There are still grants geared towards communities of color. Still, yes. Number 3, your industry. There's a Shea Moisture grant, right? It is a grant that is geared for women who want to open up hair care salons. Same industry. Shea Moisture, what do? They produce shampoo and conditioner. So that's the same industry. They're giving money to organizations like yours that want to open up a hair care salon. Look to your industry. Are you in transportation? Look to FedEx. That's a transportation company. You want to open up a nail salon? Look to Opie, right? They make nail polish. Find out whether or not they have grants. Look to your industry. So 3 areas, right? Ethnicity or gender, mission, and industry. All right. You can absolutely come back at 7 o'clock. Melissa, if you could drop the link to the session at 7 for those of you who want to come back at 7. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let me see other questions. Neurodivergent individuals who are struggling with connecting to others and difficulty with managing their behavior. So mental health and wellness, that's your area. Mental health and wellness. Mental health, and it could even be more specific than that. Maybe, let's say you're working with children. Now you can search for grants for those in the category of mental health and wellness, right? But also, if you're helping children, there may be other grants available geared towards organizations that help children, right? That's just an example, just in case you do. All right. Other questions. Let's see. Do you recommend obtaining partnership agreements from the partners? It depends. Yes, typically yes, or at least an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. Depends on what the partnership looks like. The library is one of my partners, right? Because I speak throughout the library system in Cuyahoga County, and yes, I had to sign a partnership agreement. So that becomes important, especially if there's some kind of an exchange of money, right? That becomes especially true. That becomes especially true. But anytime you're going to enter into a partnership agreement, it's good to have a document. But some of the partnerships are less formal, right? They're less formal. But typically there should be something in writing. All right, let's see. Let's see other questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. I am having no luck in getting responses to meet with them. I need to know specifically what the issue is, right? Let me tell you a secret that I have. I'm just giving it away today because I'm trying to counter so much misinformation that's out there about grants. I use LinkedIn. So if I'm looking for someone in particular and I just cannot find that email address, and I know they're with the foundation or an organization, I use LinkedIn. I have a professional subscription with LinkedIn, so I get to contact just about anybody on there. But even if you have a free version, I think you're limited. You can still contact some people. Look for the foundation on LinkedIn and look for the names of the people affiliated with the foundation. And before I do anything else, it's always good to stay until the end. I have a surprise for you. You have to go back to my slides here. I have a surprise for you. All right. Let me see. I think I can do it here. I think I can do it here. Remember I talked about artificial intelligence? I created an artificial intelligence grant guide, 10 steps to easier and faster grant writing. With AI is all about the bonus prompts. You have to be able to write these prompts. I give you bonus prompts. I literally give you the prompts that will help you write grants faster and easier. It's $99. You get it free if you buy the course in the next 3 days. You get it totally free because I am here to help you. I am here to get you this information so that you know how to write these grants. It's go time, ladies. It's go time. It's February, right? I don't want you to, I do not want to see you a month from now having not joined us and looking around saying that you thought there was some grant somewhere and you don't know, you're not sure when you could be in a community that is giving you the support that you need so that when you hear press releases come out of certain administrations and you're wondering, how does this affect me? You will know exactly how it affects you because I will inform you. One of the first things I did when I heard about this freeze was create a video explaining to people, if you're seeking grants outside of federal grants, this really does not pertain to you very much, right? You get it free, 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 free. Uh, it will help you write grants faster and easier. AI is remarkable. You get it for free. All right. Other questions? Timmy, send me an email. If I buy the course, will I help you with your business plan in the one-on-one? In the one-on-one. If you buy the one-on-one, you will get help with the business plan. Like if you're talking about me specifically privately helping you with the business plan, you would need to buy the one-on-one. Now, if you buy the course and you just have questions about the business plan, come into the Facebook group, ask your questions there. I'm in there all the time. I kid all the time. You'll be sick of seeing this face in the Facebook group. I kid all the time, right? Come to the Facebook group, right? And then ask your questions. But I want to stress a business plan is not a grant application. Those are two different things. You're going to need a grant application, right? They're similar, not the same. All right. All right. Yes, Timmy, send me an email. All right. Other questions. Let me just make sure. Oh, thank you, Holly. Oh, thank you, Holly. Ah, I see what you mean. I know what you mean, Holly. I know what you mean. Yes, I'm live. I'm live most of the time. I was trying to ask, should I select as many things as I can get to better access to get more grants? No, 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 no. You don't want to just ask and ask and ask. You want to have a specific purpose for what you're asking for. And the more, so less is better. Drill down on what you're asking for. You're going to discuss specifically how you're using the resource to move your nonprofit or for-profit forward. You're not just asking for a bunch of stuff to see, just like throwing spaghetti against the wall. Let's just ask for everything and see what sticks. No, no, you have to be strategic. That's why I created a course. That's why I coach in this course. You need to be strategic. Ask for fewer things that will mean more to your organization to move it forward so that you can talk about what the impact is going to be if you're able to get that particular resource funded. That's what you want to do. You do not need a business plan to start writing grants. I do not want you to think that. You do not need a business plan to start writing grants. You need a great grant template, is what you need, right? Do both, absolutely. But let me say to you, once you complete this course and you complete this grant template, you will have most of the information that you need for your business plan. The real difference between a business plan and a grant application, the business plan will require far more marketing information as to how you're going to market your business, right? But because I've certainly written a number of business plans before and many, many, many grant applications, the way in which I have my questions in the course will help you develop like a great business plans once you're done for sure, because they're in-depth questions. All right, let's see. You want to own a motor coach company. You want to own a motor coach company. So I would think about the three areas. Are there grants for you in the area of the fact that you are a woman-owned business or minority-owned business or your industry, right? Transportation, look to your transportation industry. Look to the, look to, for example, your automobile industry, right? Most of them have grants, right? Ford, Toyota, right? GM, that's your industry. And then there are companies that make motor coaches. Find out whether or not they have programs. But this sounds to be a small business. So look for your small business grant specifically, but you're in the area of transportation. But you also might want to think about connecting with the 37angels.com because that's a group of women investors that invest only in women's businesses. Yes, a person that's been writing grants for over a year with zero funding. Yeah, we need to talk for sure. All right, let me just make sure. Okay, I just graduated from a wellness culinary program, not desired to continue my education in baking. Grants to support your education. How do I apply for grants to continue education? So the only grants I'm aware of for you're looking for scholarships. You're looking for scholarships, I would say. Um, but that depends. So if you're wanting to go, let's say go get your master's degree and you want to do that full time, you can look for individual grants because the only individual grants I'm aware of deal with usually higher education, right? Now, let's say you have your bakery company and you want professional development. So you're constantly taking baking classes, right, to enhance your skill set. That comes under professional development, right? So you can search for grants under education and professional development for sure for your small business, right? Because you can literally use your continuing education as professional development and seek grants that way. I would seek grants that way. All right, let me just make sure I've answered all of the questions. What about obtaining federal grants outside of your state? Okay, you answered with Zoom meetings. Okay, I think federal grants aren't state limited, right? Because they're federal grants, right? Now, I have to say, if you're interested in federal grants, grants.gov, go there. Keep in mind, keep in mind, oftentimes it depends on your industry. Let's take the daycare industry. That's a great example. There are funds to open up a daycare center. Those of you who want to open up a daycare center that come through your state government, your state government. That money is generated from the federal government, from federal grants, typically the Department of Education, Department of Health and Human Services, gives that money down to the state. The state will either release grants or give the money down through the county to release grants for daycare centers. Will there be cuts in that funding? Who knows? But according to what we're hearing, there will certainly be some cuts. But that money that comes from the federal government usually is dispersed throughout all of the states to help fund daycare centers. So it doesn't really matter where you are in terms of whether or not you can get the money, because that money is coming from the federal government and dispersed throughout like most of the states or all of the states maybe. So then whether you're in Ohio or Texas, typically that money is often available through your county or your state. Right. So you're right, Holly, they're not limited by states, right? How do you navigate meeting new potential national funders? It's the same way. Literally go back through this replay. I gave you what you put in that email. What you put in the email. It doesn't matter if it's a national funder or a local funder, because remember I said most of the meetings are by Zoom. You meet with them by Zoom anyway. If they're local, meet with them in person. If they're national, meet with them over Zoom. But what you put in the email to set up that meeting is the same. And the course will help you to find the people. That's what the course is for. It will help you find the people that you need to meet with at that foundation. Yes. That's where you come into the Facebook group for help. So if you found the foundation and you just can't find a person, we will help you. The live group coaching sessions that occur every single month, that's what I do in that session. That's why it took me 2.5 hours last week, right? Because oftentimes people were wanting to know, like, I've looked at this particular foundation for funding. I can't find funding, or I can't find the right people. That's what I do, because I know how to get to the right people at the foundations. And I found the people, found the foundations. This is often what happens in the live group coaching session, right? We get you the information that you need to know. All right. Let me just see if there are any others. I'm going to wrap it up. Let me just make sure that there are no more questions. I believe we are done. Yes, there are. I even have a grant application template if you would like that as well. You get that as a part of the course, so that when you're answering my questions, you answer them in the confines of a template, which is a Word document. Make it easy for you. I just opened an event planning business specializing in wedding planning. I'm trying to focus on operational grants to get help with marketing. So absolutely, those three areas. It's no different, right? You have looks like you have a small business. And something else I do to help you, because I've been in business for a long time. Sometimes people ask me questions that really aren't related to grants, but to just how do you move your business forward? Because I serve as a business coach. I often have inventors, right, that buy the course. And so when they come into the group coaching call or when they're in the Facebook group, they'll ask me about the process. And for example, I know Lisa Askeles, Lisa Askeles, who is like the QVC queen, HSN queen. She's a consultant to Shark Tank. I will set you up with a meeting with her. This is what she does. She helps people who have inventions to get their product to market. Right. So I just do that as a part of me trying to help you in your community. And yes, everything is for $297. Everything I just mentioned, you get all of it for $297. Make the one payment or make the two payments. It's up to you. You have 3 days though to get the additional discount. 3 days. All right. Oh, thank you, Janet. I'm glad it was helpful. I believe we are done. All right, let's see. I'm I'm seeing an open a mobile tutorial service for homeschool was excellent. The homeschool market is huge. Adults 30 and over reentering the workforce. So there could be multiple areas like workforce development, training, education. Um, it sounds like you're providing retraining for some people. I'm considering going to a reentry program for grants. I'm confused. Why would you go to a reentry program for grants? Unless these people are coming out of the criminal justice system, you're that's not a reentry program specifically works with people who've been in the criminal justice system and they're coming out of jail back into society, right? So you want if that is what your target population is, then you're going to be looking to foundations that provide grants, right, to those who work with individuals who are reentering society. All right. Okay, we're done there. So you've got 3 days. Let me make sure in the Q&A. Yes, reentry. So we gave you an example, right? We gave you an example of the many different people that you should be linking with for sure. But yes, that is your target population. And yes, so for example, when you go to Grant Watch, there's specifically a section in Grant Station that talks about reentry. There's a section on Grant Watch where you can literally choose that as your subject area, right? So again, this is where the course helps. I want to thank everybody for hopping on. I know you could have been somewhere else at noon and you decided to be here, and I appreciate that you came on just to get the information that you need. I will ask you to do something for yourself. Do this for yourself, right? Come get the help that you need to start researching and writing and getting grants, right? You'll get the AI guide for free. Like now is the time, more so than ever before. If you want to use 4 different payments, you can use 4 different payments, right? Interest free to get in a community that can help you get grants, right? Because I know you've got to be tired of using your own money, right? I hear this all the time from you, right? So I want to thank you all so much. Yeah, it's February 4th, right? That becomes important. Like get in the game now. Get in the game now, right? You've got 3 days, you have until Friday to get the 50% off. All right. Rather the $200 off. It's $200 off, which is like a lot. Most people don't even have coupons. So thank you. Thank you so much. I hope to see you in the Facebook group. For those of you who are buying the course, you get 3 emails. One will be that link to the Facebook group and you want to be in there. The other is you create your username and password so that you can get in this course and get started. It's on a platform called Thinkific, like the #1 platform for courses. It's so easy to use. And then I will see you in the Facebook group. And when you come into the Facebook group, this is important, everybody. I'm going to ask you a question as soon as you get into the Facebook group. Answer the question, because when you answer the question, I'm going to help you immediately, right? for the $297, this is everything you get. And yes, you get a $5,000 course for less than $300 that some of you will write off, right? Over the course. Well, all of you will write it off, but some of you will spread it out over 4 payments. Get the help that you need. The grant money is available, and that's what I want you to know. So thank you so much for hopping on. I hope to see you all in the Facebook group over the course of the next week. Again, my name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and founder of the company LaPav Consulting. And I hope to see you all this week in that group. Come in and get the help that you need. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And try to sign up for the session tomorrow too, where I'll be doing a walkthrough for the grants. But you've got 3 days. Just come in and get started. Come in, get started, and know that the money is available, and be affiliated with a resource that's going to provide you with accurate information. All right. Thanks so much, and hope to see you all in the Facebook group. Bye-bye.